What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my prize picks breakdown for UFC Singapore. We got Max Holloway going against the Korean Zombie.
I need all the wins, yeah. Harder than all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
And we are back talking some prize picks. This week, we are breaking down UFC Singapore, a card that I think is going to be a very fun card, a card that is starting very early as well, which is going to be pretty awesome. I think the fights start at something crazy like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So going to be getting up early, watching these fights, enjoying these fights, and hopefully hitting some prize picks plays this week. I did find 10 that stick out for me. We'll be talking significant strikes, fantasy score, and fight time. And it looks like there's no takedowns on this card, which is interesting. But we'll talk about those 3. And yeah, I think 10 plays in total. So before we get into it all, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. It is always much appreciated. So don't miss out on all the other content. I have been away the past couple days, out of town. I was in Nashville for a wedding. So finally got back on Thursday and just starting to pump out the rest of the content for UFC Singapore. So yeah, guys, if you guys are new to Prize Picks, be sure to check out the promo code DFSBTN. Get yourself a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. And then also, if I don't talk about a play that you guys like or that stuck out to you, let me know down in the comments and we could talk about it. Maybe I missed something or want to reconsider something as well. A lot of times you guys do point out some good plays in the comments, so be sure to do that. But yeah, I say we get into it. And like I said, no takedowns this week, so we're going to start with significant strikes. And the first one I think is probably the most obvious one. I think it's probably going to be the most popular one. And I unfortunately did not look into Prize Picks until today, actually Thursday. So I'm not sure where they originally set this at, but I'm looking at it on Thursday and going, what the heck's going on? I mean, I don't know if they think like Zombie's washed to the point where Max Holloway is just going to starch him within 5 minutes, because if this fight gets to the third round, I mean, I think by the third round he hits 100 significant strikes pretty easily. Max Holloway, the volume king. I mean, the only person that's out voluming Max Holloway is Alexander Volkanovski. This guy Holloway lands over 7 significant strikes per minute. Max Holloway is a guy that can land upwards of, we saw him land over 400 significant strikes. So I'm not sure why this is so low. I think Zombie, although I do think he's regressed a lot, I still think he's tough to the point where he probably does last at least 2-3 rounds, if not, 4, maybe even goes to decision even. So I think they're just really overrating the finishing equity of Max Holloway this week. I personally do think he finishes, but I think it's late in the fight if it comes at all. So yeah, give me this Holloway and give me the more for the significant strikes here. It just seems very low for a Max Holloway fight. Next, we'll move on to Waldo Cortez Acosta. I'm going to take the more as well with a significant strike sitting at 61.5. Yeah, Waldo Cortez Acosta, very good volume in terms of a heavyweight. His numbers, obviously not as big of a sample size as Max Holloway, but in terms of significant strikes landed per minute, it's very similar. 7.09 significant strikes landed per minute for Waldo Cortez Acosta. I think this fight is going 15 minutes at the very least. I mean, maybe Waldo Cortez Acosta gets him out of there late, but yeah, I think this fight more than likely goes the full 15. And at that point, we're going to get a fight that takes place on the feet. I think Waldo should have no problem just cruising over this 61.5 significant strikes. So I'm going to take the more there on the Waldo Cortez Acosta strikes, another one that I do like. And then the last one for the strikes, I'm going to go with the Junior Tafa significant strikes. I'm going to take the less here. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, I just don't see a scenario where Parker Porter's eating 36 strikes on the chin. I mean, just Junior Tafa hits like an absolute truck. We saw in the Muhammad Usman fight where Usman was able to control him for 2/3 of that fight, but every second that was at range, like when he was landing on Usman, he was just getting a reaction. Like Junior Tafa has a lot of power. Parker Porter's been finishing in all of his losses, so I kind of feel like if Parker Porter wins, it's because he's able to grind this against the cage, take this fight down to the mat. But if Junior Tafa's winning this fight, you got to imagine it's by knockout. So yeah, give me the less here on significant strikes for Junior Tafa. I mean, I just don't imagine Parker Porter being able to take this many shots from a guy that hits as hard as Junior Tafa here. So those are the significant strikes. Like I said, we don't have takedowns. We'll go to fantasy score next, and we're going to start with probably an unpopular play here, but I'm going to go with Ryan Spann. Fantasy score 75.5. Basically, if Ryan Spann wins this fight, I mean, this hits pretty easily. Ryan Spann, the majority of his wins do come in the first round. I actually think this fight does end in the first round as well, like the last fight. But unlike the last fight, I actually think it's Ryan Spann getting his hand raised here. I just don't like how Anthony Smith has looked in his last two fights. I really don't. I know Anthony Smith beat Ryan Spann like a year or so ago, but Anthony Smith caught Ryan Spann. He hurt him and looked like Ryan Spann was just not able to recover. I think Ryan Spann puts him out here. I think it's by knockout. I think it's in the first round. And obviously, if it is in the first round, he's going to crush this fantasy score. If it happens in the second, he crushes the fantasy score as well. So as long as Ryan Spann wins, I think this more should hit easy. But yeah, a lot of people want Anthony Smith. I get it. He won in the last fight, but I just hate how Anthony Smith has looked as of late. I really do. So give me Ryan Spann. I think he gets it done. And then we go to Max Holloway. I'm taking the more here. I mean, I know it's a lot, 120.5, but, Max Holloway is a guy that can just put up video game type numbers. I mean, if this fight goes 25 minutes, he gets the decision win, which is not much. It's only 20, I believe, on PrizePicks. But, I mean, this guy can put up, 200 to 300. We've seen him go 400 significant strikes. And if he puts up, 250, 300 significant strikes, he is going to crush this fantasy score. I think Max Holloway has the highest ceiling on the entire slate by a mile. It's not even close. And if Max Holloway does win this fight, as long as it's not like an early finish, as long as this gets extended fourth, fifth round, I think he can rack up a ton of significant strikes. Korean Zombie, very hittable. Eats punches with his face, and Max Holloway is going to hit him in the face many, many times this fight. So give me the more on Max Holloway there. And then the last one, I'll go with the Sungwoo Choi. I'll take the less on the fantasy score here. So Sungwoo Choi is not a high-volume striker by any means. Sungwoo Choi is not going to grapple at all. I'm not really sure why this, is set at 93.5. Sungwoo Choi lands about 3.43 significant strikes per minute. He has power, but I'm not sure he knocks out Jarno Aarons here. And I'm not really even convinced he wins this fight. I know a lot of people on the Jarno Aarons side. I'm picking Sungwoo Choi, but not with a ton of confidence. I think this fight could end up being pretty close and competitive. I even feel like Jarno Aarons might be able to have some success getting the fight down to the mat as well. So, yeah, I'm going to take the less here on the fantasy score for Sungwoo Choi. It just seems way too high for a guy that doesn't have much grappling upside at all, and then a guy that I don't necessarily see him finishing this fight. So, yeah, give me the less there for Sungwoo Choi. Now let's get into the fight time here. The first one we will go with is the Rinya Nakamura 5.5 fight time minutes here. Yeah, I'm going with the less here. I think he finishes this fight within the first 5 minutes. I think this guy's the real deal. I think this fight really shouldn't be sanctioned whatsoever, and I think he's able to go out there and get Fernie Garcia out of there. Whether it's by knockout, whether it's by sub, I guess it's really whatever he wants. I mean, I just think it's a really good matchup for him. He's a minus 900 favorite, and if he does pay off this price tag, it means he gets finishing this fight in the first 5 minutes. Going to go with another 5 minutes, and this is going to piggyback off of my Ryan Spann fantasy score. I'm taking the less here on 5 minutes. Ryan Spann is a finisher. Ryan Spann's very dangerous. He's very dangerous early on. I don't like how Anthony Smith has been reacting to shots as of late. Anthony Smith's been finished a lot of time. I think it's something crazy like 12, 13 times in his career. I think Ryan Spann gets him out of there in the first round. But we also saw Anthony Smith, get Ryan Spann out of there in the first round in their last fight. So I think it covers, both sides in a way, but I do think it's more likely that Ryan Spann gets this finish early on. Next, we will go with the Max Holloway. More on fight times and minutes. Like I said, I think, Holloway could finish this fight, but I think they're really overrating the finish this week. I mean, they're acting like the Korean Zombie is just like a complete washed bum. I mean, he's still very tough, and Max Holloway is not some murderous power puncher. So I'm not sure, why these violence props are getting completely juiced. Like, it makes no sense to me. I think Holloway is live for a finish late, but I think it's going to be late if at all. So give me the more there on the fight time for Max Holloway. And then the last one I will go with is going to be the J.J. Aldrich less on fight time. 10 minutes here. going against Liang Na, who I don't think has, 10 minutes in her, to be honest. I think Liang Na is going to go after it early and often, and maybe she does finish Aldrich within the first 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but after that, I do expect Liang Na to fold. Liang Na is a very good hammer, but the worst nail I've ever seen, and I'm not sure if this fight does go 10 minutes that Liang Na even gets off the stool. So give me the lesser on fight time. I think it's Liang Na early or JJ Aldrich probably in that second round, finishing a gassed out Liang Na. There you have it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you guys could leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down your favorite play for this week, and then also check out PrizePicks. If you're new, use that promo code DFSBTN and get yourself a 100% deposit bonus. Best of luck, everybody, for UFC Singapore, and we'll see you soon.